And sometimes I feel that Disneys of the world, for all their wanted prowess in terms of technology, ruin it on occasions when they don't get basic things like right. For example, the Jungle Book, which I enjoyed watching, but small thing. There's something called Bandar Log, which is a character, or it's actually a horde of monkeys. Now,
Yeah.
Bandar in Hindi is monkey, and Log is men or people. But
Uh-huh.
the character says Bandar Log or something. When all it needs is to for you to pronounce it right, to get a few things right, and make a mention that the actual text and what gets shown on television these days, there is such a big gulf.
One of the big Disney emerges as a sort of villain in my book, because I mean, I actually think the Disney story of the Jungle Book is sort of great, but it bears very, very little relationship to what Kipling wrote in all sorts of ways. I love your pointing out that the film adaptation doesn't pronounce the Hindi right. I mean, there's a million other things it does wrong, but so many of these stories are more interesting than the Disneyfied versions of them, and are more complex, and there's sort of more to them. And I feel like Mary Poppins, Kipling. The thing that really irked me about the Kipling thing was actually it was a book, a physical book that I found when I was just starting to research this book, and I was obviously casting around the pile of children's books by my own children's bed, and I found this board book, which was a Disney board book, saying The Jungle Book, the original story. And it was Disney all over it, and it was Mowgli and a very simplified version of the Disney film. But nowhere, anywhere on the copyright page, on the back on thing, did it mention the word Rudyard Kipling. And I thought, God, that's tragic. And of course, the Disney thing, as well as, mispronouncing Bandar Log and the, as I probably just have, and
you got it right.
And as well as the fact that, for example, Car in the book is an antagonist, where in fact Car is a friend in Kipling stories. Kipling stories, there are 2 Jungle Books. Only about half of the stories in them are even to do with Mowgli at all, and some of them are set, in the Bering Strait. Sort of one about seals. There's, it's just a very, very different proposition, and as I say, a much more interesting one, I think, than Disney's.